What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to Game Day with Trey, and today we're going to do a quick look at today's NBA matchup between the Detroit Pistons and the Philadelphia 76ers. All right, so this line opened up at Philly minus 15. Over under was at 219.5. It has since moved to 220. What we're looking at these two teams, okay, we're looking at an injury report of Cade Cunningham, questionable. Jalen Duren, questionable. And Evan Fournier also will be questionable. Usual suspects as far as Quentin Grimes, Asir Thompson, and Isaiah Stewart, all going to be out as well for Detroit. And you look at Philly, Tobias Harris, questionable. Covington out, and DeAnthony Melton, of course, out. All right, so when you talk about these two teams, you're talking about Detroit Pistons are coming off losses to the Grizzlies, the Hawks, and the Nets. Whereas Philly's coming off wins over the Raptors, Thunder, Heat, Grizzlies, and Spurs yesterday. All right, head-to-head, the 76ers run this series right now 9-1. All right, so they won basically the last 7 times they played each other straight up. All right, against the spread, it's also 7 to Philly, 3 to Detroit. So Philly's also leading the way on that, and they've won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 straight and covered 1, 2. The last 2 times they played, they all have played 3 times this season though. And when you talk about these teams in this situation against the spread, as a home favorite, Philly on the season is 18-11, whereas Detroit is 15-15. Well, I'm sorry. Detroit as an away underdog is 21-17. Now, when you're looking towards rest, well, with no rest, Philly comes in. They're 6-8 against the spread, whereas Detroit, with 1 day off, is 25-20-1. All right, and with a rest advantage, Detroit's not looking as good. It's going the exact opposite way. Detroit's 6-10 against the spread, whereas Philly, with a rest disadvantage, they're 9-10. All right, against the spread. Now, if you look at the over/unders last 10 times these teams have played, it's 5 to the over, 4 to the under, and 1 push. Today the line set that over/under is set at 220, so it's already moving upwards. All right. And when you look situationally, okay, as a home favorite, Philly's games go 16 to the over and 13 to the under, whereas Detroit, as an away underdog, their games go 22 to the over and 16 to the under. So once again, it's pointing straight to the over, you guys. But let's also look at a couple other things, all right? So remember, Philly's coming off of no rest, so they're 5 to the over and 9 to the under in no rest situations. Whereas with 1 day off, Detroit is 21 to the over, 24 to the under, and 1 push. But when you look at the most important one, which is the disadvantage versus advantage, all right, when Detroit has a rest advantage, it's 10 to the over, 6 to the under. And when Philly has a rest disadvantage, it's 10 to the over and 9 to the under. All right, now, situationally, over the last 3 games, Detroit's coming in averaging 102 points per game, giving up 114 points per game, whereas Philly is averaging 119.3 points per game, and they're giving up 109. Now, if you're talking about how they've been playing recently, like just looking in depth, see, Brooklyn is on a 4-game losing streak, man. Like, they lost to Memphis twice, they lost to Atlanta, and they lost to Brooklyn. Okay, they did cover against Brooklyn the other night, but they didn't cover against Memphis. They covered against Atlanta because they got a large spread. And if you notice, if you just look, when they get these large spreads, like when they got 10.5 against Brooklyn, they covered that. When they got 12 against Atlanta, they covered that. When they got 16.5 against Minnesota, they covered that. When they got 15 from New Orleans, they covered that. The only team they didn't cover against with these large spreads was in the last 10 was New York and Boston. Okay. Now, when you're talking about Philly in the last 10, And you're just looking at when they had these large spreads. Philly just got done covering 15 against Memphis the other day. And they're on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 game cover streak. All right. They're 9-1 in the last 10 games against the spread. All right. Versus Detroit, like I was telling you, they're 5-5 against the spread in their last 10. 1-9 straight up in the last 10, and 4 to the over, 5 to the under, and 1 push. Whereas Philly 6 to the over and 4 to the under in their last 10. All right, and the last thing I want to go ahead and tell y'all about these two teams is, so the Pistons have lost each of their last 28 games against Eastern Conference opponents that held a winning record. The Pistons have also failed to cover the spread in each of their last 10 games at Wells Fargo Arena against Eastern Conference opponent that held a winning record. And 7 of the Pistons' last 9 road games following road losses have gone under the total points line. All right, versus Philly, 76ers have won each of their last 11 home games against the Pistons. The 76ers have covered the spread in each of their last 8 home games against the Pistons following a win. And each of the 76ers' last 5 home games against Central Division opponents have gone under the total points line. All right, so my lean for this game would have to be, well, it would probably have to be what I locked in, man. I locked in that Philly total points over. That's at 117.5. You can get that. Definitely total points for Philly. That's what I like. All right. It's gone over that. And if you look at their matchups, they've scored over 117 points in 1, 2, 3, 4 out of the last 6 games. Yeah. So they have the ability to do that. And then when you look at what they've actually been doing out there on the court, they just scored 133 against San Antonio. And Detroit, they're giving up 124 to New York, 129 to Boston, 122 to Indiana. These are teams that can score like Philly can score. All right, 121 to Atlanta. All right, and like I just got done telling you, Philly's averaging 119.3 points per game over the last 3 games. All right, so I got to go ahead and let you know that's what I locked in. But if you're looking to play the spread, I would have to lean Philly. And as far as the over-under is concerned, it is creeping up. So maybe go towards the over. But what I locked in was the Philadelphia 76ers team total over. All right, man, I hope this helps y'all. Y'all have a blessed day. Stay safe, man. I'm going to see you out your window, man. Peace.